My name is Ruth Wiley. I'm with Guild Mortgage.
And I'm Alena Miano. I'm with Keller, Colombia. Hello, our favorite people.
We're talking about everything real estate. We're talking about, what are we talking about?
How the heck you buy a house?
It's not that hard when you have the right team. I'll tell you that. We try to make it as easy as possible. We try to give you direction, what to do to actually get to the closing table. And so I think that's a good thing to discuss today.
How important is a good agent, good lender? This is one of the questions that I keep being asked. Why should I pick you, or why should I pick somebody else? Mm-hmm. From my perspective is you need somebody who's going to work for you as hard as we do.
Yep.
Tell me about your process.
So my process, immediately I like to start off talking to my clients, either, it's a phone or in person, and figure out their plan. Because my plan for you might be totally different once we have that interview. So I like to talk to my clients. I need to figure out what your goals, how long you want to be in your home, what your monthly budget is. Do you have kids, like who's college in the future? I need to know all these plans so I can help you with your budget.
Okay. From my perspective, I always wanted to tell that to absolutely everybody. When you call your agent and tell them that you want to see the house, well, I need you to understand that you're going into people's homes. And if you're not pre-approved, it's kind of, would you want somebody in your home?
Yeah.
Just like browsing?
I mean, there's that side of it, but then there's also the side, like, you might fall in love with these, let's say, $700,000 homes. Like, they're gorgeous, they're everything you want in a home.
I like the way you think. Yeah.
I think that.
$700,000 home.
But then that monthly payment might not be what you anticipated for all those other expenses that we talked about for, your kids going to college, or all the other life's expenses, or the income that you're currently bringing in. So talking to a lender, getting that pre-approval beforehand will let you know how much home you can really afford.
Normally, what kind of documents do you need from them?
So the most common is going to be 2 years of W-2s, most recent. 30 days pay stubs is going to be all your asset documentation. So we want to source where your down payment's coming from, whether that's bank statements, a sale of a previous home, investments. So I get all those documents up front. So that way I know really how much down payment / closing costs you can afford.
Okay. What about credit score? What they normally call me, and normally what they tell me is like, my credit score is not 700. What can I do?
That's fine. That's fine. So there's credit score is just one of the criteria for a loan application. So your credit score, a lot of programs have a different starting point. Some lenders, Guild in particular, we can go as low as 540, but just be prepared that if your score is below a certain amount, then you may have to put more down payment funds. So it's fine if it's not 700. I think us just starting that pre-approval and really determining what's that cost then. And then there's also ways of helping you build your credit. So if you're not...
That's why I love her. She never says no to my clients.
It might not be right now. It might be something we need to work towards. So, yeah. But really, you did never know until you start that pre-approval.
So you're going to pull their credit?
Yes.
She's going to pull your credit.
It's okay, guys.
You do need to pull your credit before you get pre-approved. It is not hurting your credit score as much. Am I correct?
Yes, correct. Especially if you're doing, if you're getting a pre-approval from multiple lenders in a short period of time, they say about those 2 weeks period of time if you're rate shopping.
Rate shopping, that's kind of important to do, and I mean, it's not a big deal. Get your paperwork submitted, get everything submitted. My main thing is for you to know how much of the house you can afford. Mm-hmm. That is when we can start the process, and that's when we can start looking with whatever's available in our local area, Columbia, Chapin, Irma, all the areas. What else do you cover?
Oh, me? Well, I cover South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia. So whenever you're starting the mortgage search, I advise not to take any other debts out, not to co-sign with anybody.
To do my credit card for all the furniture you can find?
Because no, you can wait. You can wait. I think we'd all rather you get into the home, sleep on the floor for a couple weeks, and then get your furniture and everything, versus you buy all the furniture and not have a home to move it into.
Talk about debt to income ratio. That's what is one of the most important things for you guys to get pre-approved. This is probably more important than credit score, is it?
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I'd say equally as important. So, once we give that pre-approval out for you, we may be looking at your max pre-approval. That's assuming off your debt to income. So if you inquire any new loans, we then have to add that new loan payment into your debt to income. So once we do that, that could boost us out of that loan program for you, or boost us out altogether. And then when there's more inquiries, then it's another letter of explanation, and then sending you back through underwriting, so it could delay closing.
Let's not do that.
No.
Let's make sure we get you into the house, and then let's celebrate with the new furniture after that.
I agree.
What about student loans? What are we going to do with the student loans?
Depending on each program will depend on how we calculate your student loan payment. If you are on a deferred payment plan, with some programs we can present documentation to go off of either deferment or the income-based plan. So really it depends on which loan program we're looking at to really determine the student loans.
Okay, so doable.
Mm-hmm.
Doable.
Oh, yes,
Student loans, doable.
Yep.
Do you really need 20% down payment?
No. So depending on your loan program, again, will depend on how much down payment you need. So if you are not putting down 20%, with some loan programs, you will require PMI. But then again, every loan program is completely different. So, a lot of times people tell you, if you don't put 20% down, no matter what, you have PMI, but that is not the case.
I love it. We were about to talk about how to buy a house, and I just put her on the spot.
I expect it out of you.
I have a knowledgeable broker over here.
Well, so do I with you, so.
So I think it is one of the scariest and the most important parts of buying a home is having your pre-approval ready, because again, in the market like it is right now, we all know that it's a really crazy market. You have to have your pre-approval ready, because when you see that house, let's say you find it on Zillow, let's say you find it before you find it with your real estate agent, you fall in love with it, you absolutely have to have it. Well, guess what? You have to submit an offer within next business day and a half. And we have to submit an offer with a pre-approval letter. Otherwise, the listing agent will not even probably consider you seriously. They do like to make sure that you have funds available to purchase that particular home. Mm-hmm. So let's not fall in love with the houses before we know how much of the house we can afford, and before we know that we can get it done.
Yeah,
the good land.
Ultimately, yes. And then getting that pre-approval, taking that time up front is going to help us so much more in the back end too. So that way we have a quicker close, and who doesn't want that?
What is a quicker close? What's the best case scenario? Let's start there.
I'd say average around 30 days still.
30 days.
Mm-hmm. There's some loan programs that may take a little bit longer, but the average is 30-day close.
So this is something important for you to remember, because when we put your house under contract, when we find something for you and we get you under contract, you need to know that we are going to be about 30 days from closing. That means that you're going to get your keys in a month. Mm-hmm. You need to remember that in case if you have a lease, in case if you're moving in from another state, in case if you have a job offer or something like that. Something consider, I give it 45 days. I mean, it's nice when we close in 30 days, but to be sure, to be comfortable, 45 days, that's when you start your life in South Carolina.